Hello and welcome to this Chessodoro game review. This game was a rapid one, 15 plus 10, between 1700 lichess rating players. Student is playing black. e4, c6, Caro-Kann, knight f3. White is perhaps intending to play two knight setup. d5, he takes d5. Suddenly we're back into exchange. Caro-Kann, knight c6, h3. Kind of harmless move, I would say. White has stronger options here. One move is bishop b5. Another interesting theoretical, like modern line, is knight e5. So you can check them separately. h3, knight f6, c3. White is kind of playing this so-called Carlsbad structure, yeah. If you know Queen's Gambit, it's kind of a reverse structure this way, yeah, when we're playing Caro-Kann. Bishop f5, very good move. Putting the bishop outside the pawn chain, yeah, not closing it in. Bishop e2, well, White is kind of playing very passively, yeah, I would say. Maybe he had to try bishop b5 and go for something like this pin. Then we can defend it, yeah. There is some even crazy computer line like this. Just seems like we're losing, but actually we're winning back the piece in some crazy lines. So I think White is playing too passively, because he will need to attack on the king side later, yeah. You see his pawn structures pointing that way. Our is pointing to the queen side, so there will be our play there. Castles, h6. I don't quite like these early so-called dog ears, yeah, or bunny ears in the opening. Unnecessarily moves. If you can avoid it, don't play it. That's my principle. So here, I don't know, maybe we're afraid of knight h4 to kind of keep this bishop. But this bishop is our so-called bad bishop, yeah, because the pawns are on light squares, and usually in some lines black even exchanges voluntarily this bishop, yeah, like this. So I would not be afraid if they go after this bishop, wasting time. I would play just bishop out, yeah. If they go after a bishop, we can even provoke him for some moves like f3, something like this, yeah. If they take, they wasted so much time, and we can even go aggressively or continue preparing some queenside, yeah, minority attack. Okay, so h6, bishop f4, bishop d6, good move. Exchanging these bishops, because we will need later maybe rook b8, yeah, so we need to exchange those guys. Queen d6, knight bd2, castles. So far, very good opening play with black, according to structure, yeah. This is a, as I said, Carlsbad structure reversed, yeah. If you play Queen's Gambit, you should notice, yeah, this. So black's idea is minority attack usually, yeah, to push these pawns until here to create weakness on c3, while white is playing on the king side, yeah, trying to organize some sort of attack. But since White played so passively, it will be a very hard task for them to do that. Rook e1, a6, yeah, preparing minority attack. b5, yeah, White is trying to regroup the pieces for some attack. a3, stopping b4, knight a5. Other move could have been maybe immediately put these rooks, yeah, where we want to break. But White has also some play. They could use our weakened c5 square. Usually sometimes even b4 to do exactly that is the move. But we can maybe prevent it, and the game goes on, yeah. Maybe he'll have the c5 for some time, but it's a fight. Knight e5, and now we played knight e4. Also, yeah, let me illustrate this b4 idea again. Yeah, White could play like this. If we went knight c4 immediately, queen c7, they have to probably take here now. They would love to go this, yeah, to invade on c5, but I think then we have this move and we attack here. some problems for white. So yeah, you immediately played here, exchanging some pieces. Not a bad idea. Yeah, you want maybe to clear up some light pieces in order to make it easier to push b4. f3, and now, well, yeah, white made a blunder, and it's a 2-move blunder. Yeah, you have to spot it. They should have played something like this. Yeah, and again this b4 idea to push back the knight, but this time not because white intends, yeah, he has no knight anymore, he cannot occupy c5, but for different reasons we cannot go here now, because there's a little tactic, yeah, like this. So the game we could continue like this, and it's around equal, I think. Okay, so this was the blunder for white, f3, and now you started correctly but missed the fork here. Yeah, yeah, you draw back the knight but missed the fork. Yeah, you went here, totally missing, yeah, that you can make a fork. So why this such moves, yeah, we miss? Usually there are many could be many reasons for that. Maybe you're playing tired, for example, you don't make some breaks after, yeah, a couple games. You're continuing long sessions, yeah, you could easily miss such moves then. Maybe you're not solving enough tactics, I would say. Even you could do on chess.com like custom puzzles precisely to kind of reduce these types of mistakes. Choose like custom puzzles and hanging pieces theme, for example, and solve as much as possible, yeah, or regularly, I would advise, yeah, each day. Then you kind of spot these one move tactics easier, or there are plenty of books around it, so I'll include these resources in your plan to kind of minimize these blunders, yeah, missed opportunities. So you played knight c4, yeah, so knight b3 would have just won like this exchange, and e5 you could play immediately, trying to exchange pieces. I don't know, something like this. And yeah, we're up exchange. Of course, there are still lots to play. We have to convert the advantage, but yeah, exchange is exchange. So knight c4, you missed this. Queen g3, okay, active move, threatening bishop h3. He escaped it. We need to kind of guard now e6. b3, knight back. Yeah, white is also playing actively here. Yeah, you see this when we push these pawns again. Yeah, I'm repeating myself, but again, this sometimes before they even strengthen this knight, so we have to watch out for this idea. a5. I thought maybe e5, but I was not convinced by this move, because our center is a bit vulnerable. They might go after this d5 pawn. Yeah, and we might even sacrifice it, but I was not sure what's happening here. We are pawn down, maybe some compensation, but not convincing to me. So you played a5, that's okay. Rook e3. Now e5 again would have been some option, but yeah, again they go after these pawns and bring the rook in. Yeah, so not clear to me. You went a4, interesting move to kind of weaken the squares. ba, and now knight c4. You went for this. On the surface, it looks normal human in between move, yeah, but you both missed important resource for white. I think opponent also missed this. He took the knight immediately, which was not great. So what did you miss? I think after, instead of bishop c4, white could have sacked an exchange. Yeah, so not easy move to spot. And of course, engine kind of evaluated even here that knight c4 is a blunder, but I don't agree. I would just call it a mistake. Blunder is when you absolutely lose something in one or two moves. Clearly you see, yeah, but for a human to clearly see, because engine evaluates blunders as like swings between evaluation. Yeah, if it's like difference between 2 points, then it's a blunder. But for humans, blunder is when you're clearly like hanging a piece somewhere or missing 2 move, like some fork like we've seen. Yeah, that's a blunder. but not here. I disagree with engine. So instead of bishop takes e4, they could have sacked an exchange like this. Not an easy like idea to spot sometimes, and they would go for with these connected passers, yeah, so that gives white clear advantage. So okay, you both miss it, but still. So instead of knight c4, what you should have played, just maybe capture back, yeah, capture back, and play on something like this, and maybe queen retreat, don't exchange, and continue the game like this, yeah. But in the rapid game, I wouldn't call even like a big mistake here. Queen d2, queen d6. So now he's aiming at the e6 point, and we need to kind of deal with it. e5. Now white was a bit aggressive, and he weakened, I think, the king too much. So he needed to play maybe a5, yeah, to kind of increase the pin, something like this. But now he gave a chance for you to get out of the pin, because bishop already defends the rook on e8. Rook e1. And now you can get out of the pin, yeah, because queen is not the last piece, yeah, in this triple yeah, formation. If queen was the last, you would lose the rook, yeah, but queen is in front, so this is an exception, yeah, of defenders versus attackers idea. Okay, so what happened here? Yeah, you took pawn, you took back, and now you took the rook. I don't think we need to give him the file, yeah. Why not play something like c3? Yeah, use the pin yourself, and we want to put the pawn on c2, yeah, where bishop defends it. Maybe not an easy move to spot and evaluate that this pawn weak or strong, but something like this could happen, yeah. And white has to be careful of this passer. So c3 was a nice option. You took the rook, brought the rook back, you fight for the file. So maybe rook e3, I'm too harsh, maybe it wasn't such a big deal, but yeah, c3 was definitely stronger. So yeah, queen e3, and now you're at least picking some pawns, but we have to be careful of these passers, yeah. So, and I have to mention here that already players are like in time trouble. Black is like almost down to a minute, so keep this in mind. Yeah, I don't want to be too criticizing, yeah, of the moves, because it's a time trouble, but of course you first have to avoid the time trouble if possible, yeah, to not get into it. So queen b8. Here, very important moment in the game, actually. You had a c3 move, and why is this such a strong move? It frees your bishop, yeah, and we'll see this motive again in the game later. So c3, super powerful threat, yeah, queen with bishop working well together. Bishop b5, it's almost mate, yeah, if they take, I think they have to even sacrifice a piece here, yeah, we're winning. So a4 has to cover the square, but then we can again use this pawn as a distraction, and here at least we're making, yeah, they have to come back with the knight, otherwise there is queen h1 and promoting threat, or immediately promoting, and we can at least make a draw here if we want, or maybe play on, yeah. So c3 was super powerful move here, freeing the bishop. So sometimes you can even sacrifice the pawns just to free some piece, especially bishops on diagonals, yeah. So what happened in the game? You went back with the queen. That's not ideal, and it's a bit of passive play, yeah. Queen usually is a super powerful attacker piece, doesn't like to defend. So a6, but you brought the queen back again to do some checks, yeah. Like this was a time scramble already. Black player, especially our student, is under minute, and white missed a chance here. They should have played f5 in order to exchange queens. So for example, we cannot take now this because we lose the bishop. like that. Yeah. So a4 allowed black to regain this pawn. f5, now they want again queen e6, but we are on time to defend. Queen a3 played. White is trying, all white's play is based around this passer, but their king is vulnerable because earlier, yeah, I remember white played g4, so the consequences of that move. And white made, engine against calls this a blunder. It's kind of a mistake, I don't agree this is a blunder, like because white missed a perpetual, yeah, that's, I wouldn't call this a blunder because of that. So they needed to go like here to protect against perpetual. So after a5, queen d1, well, actually not a perpetual, they missed an even important move h5, like we'll see here. After queen b1, a5, yeah, we could do maybe a perpetual here, but black had super powerful idea again to free the bishop, so h5. Yeah, and if we open this diagonal, white king is in huge trouble. So also this is good already. Yeah, something like this. And king goes here, and we can keep on checking, and the knight even falls. Yeah, so super powerful break again, like we've seen c3. So similar idea to open the bishop, yeah, even sacking some pawns, breaking this chain of pawns. So now that I think of it, maybe it is a blunder actually, but not easy to see why. Yeah, so again, negotiable, or not sure about this if I would call this a blunder. Yeah, but engine, yeah, if there are super big swings, it automatically makes this double question mark. So okay, but in the game, yeah, you were low on time, so kind of understandable you missed this move. So a6, now you took you already, I think this is very scary, yeah, because of this pass pawn. You should go, I think, for a draw in this game, make some sort of perpetual like this. So you wanted maybe even to win, but again, that's dangerous, yeah, territory. You could easily lose if you overreach. So queen d4 was played, and now a7, and suddenly you made this move. Yeah, now this is a blunder because it allowed just basically to promote for white's second queen, and no longer you have this perpetual, yeah, because the king just basically runs away, something like this. Yeah, just running away somewhere. Yeah, for example, I don't know, even here, yeah, we could run away from the checks eventually because we have two queens up. Okay, so a7, final move to make a draw here was, yeah, not to lose the game, was c3, kind of blocking, yeah, the queen out of, and then you go for, if they queen, we have perpetual easily, yeah, not letting the king out. If they try to kind of bring their queen for defense, we have this idea, yeah, now, and we promote both at the same time, and perpetual, maybe very hard to see, low on time, but kind of this was the line to make a draw, and perpetual. Okay, so let's summarize the game. What are the takeaways? So to spot these tactics, yeah, knight b3, let's bring it back where it happened. Yeah, here, to spot these one move tactics, I think you need to solve plenty of exercises, yeah, even like easy ones, one move, two move tactics, maybe as a warm-up before the games even. That is interesting observation, yeah, to do it as a warm-up, or just do it daily, at least for, I don't know, 15-30 minutes. Try to make it as a habit to solve tactics, yeah, that way you reduce, you see these tactics coming up, yeah, before you make the move usually. Second thing is, maybe after each move of opponent, try to make a habit for a split second, yeah, see what they are threatening to you, and what is the weakness of their last move. Yeah, if they're not threatening anything to you, what may be the weakness of their, what changed in the position? Yeah, if you have this automatic habit or intuition, yeah, you can avoid or reduce many blunders. Yeah, avoid probably not a word. Yeah, but reduce. Nobody can avoid the blunders. Yeah, even grandmasters make them. So yeah, that's the thing. The first thing. Second thing is, I think in this game was the liberating bishop theme. Yeah, so we had I think here, yeah, we had this c3, not here. We had this earlier c4 move. Yeah, after all these exchanges. Not here actually, sorry about that. When you had the queen, yeah, c4 was the idea, c3 and bishop b5, yeah, earlier on. And later this h5, this h5 move was possible at some moment when you had the queen. Yeah, here white kind of blundered and missed this idea where you had to free the bishop. Yeah, so that was the second point of the game, second takeaway. Yeah, and third, you missed in the end perpetuals, but that was because also influenced by time trouble. Yeah, so time trouble is another theme. Yeah, like different theme. We could talk a long time about this. So kind of missed that perpetual. Yeah, so thanks for the thanks for watching. Yeah, and I'll see you. I'll make a plan for you. Yeah, see you in the next reviews. Bye bye.